Welcome, guys. It's your boy. I'm stealing this from Swag. It's your boy. It's Savasaku. Back with another review. But tonight we're gonna go over AEW Dynamite, which was a very interesting show, I would say, to least. A lot more promos than I expected, but we're gonna get right into it. As you can kind of see tonight, it is just going to be me. Swag Switch is out in Texas doing a performance, but I'm going to still keep you entertained and we're going to still talk about AEW. So let's get right into it. So AEW today starts off with Kenny Omega from his win from Konosuke Takeshita at AEW Revolution, winning the Continental title. And this is a very interesting promo because as he comes out, he obviously goes over his battles with his illness recently and just the things that he's gone through just to get to this point. But weirdly enough, he thanks Takeshita because he says without him, he wouldn't have had the energy, the drive, the need to be a champion again if he didn't push him in his match. So very interesting way to put Takeshita in there because long and behold, you could see at Revolution, kayfabe is definitely broken because the guys were wearing literally the same ring gear with their names on their waist belts. These guys have been friends for years. We know that. So to say they hate each other, you know, that's just wrestling itself. But for Kenny to also be known as the Omega and Takeshita winning against him and then being called the Alpha, even though Jericho did that years ago, you could tell there's a chemistry between these two. Not like Okada and Omega, but definitely a chemistry. You would say even similar to another friend of his. And I don't know why I'm drawing a blank for him right now. Because he showed up in AEW after what happened to him in New Japan. The Golden Lovers. What is his name? I'm drawing a blank right now. That is crazy. Let me see. Let me go ahead and look him up real quick. I am literally drawing a blank here, ladies and gentlemen. It is... Let me see here. Kota Ibushi. Okay, yeah, I was sitting here like, man, why am I not remembering this man's name? It's been a while since we've seen him, but he's been out of AEW. He's been out of the scene for a while. I don't know if he's still battling with the things with New Japan and his contract, but yeah, it's kind of a very similar chemistry. I mean, we know Kenny, when he was in Japan, he's made a lot of friends with New Japan and a lot of Japanese wrestlers, so it would only make sense. But yeah, as he kind of just gave his thanks to the people, the doctors, you know, the fans, Takeshita, it was a very stereotypical promo, just kind of letting people know, like, hey, this is my next step. Is getting ready for the Continental Classic. Or it's not even really called the Continental Classic. It's actually going to be called the Dynasty Eliminator Tournament is what he stated. But, okay, normally that was a classic, but Dynasty Eliminator Tournament. And he sells it by saying he wants to see, or he wants to be able to call somebody the best on the planet. So whether if Kenny wins that or not, I don't know if this is a ploy or picking at CM Punk at being the best in the world. Who knows? Who knows? But like I said, the promo wasn't very effective to me. It just kind of solidified, yes, I'm back. Yes, amazingly enough, I became champion. And then he walks off from the promo, and immediately after the promo, the Ops come out. And I love Joe. I like Hook. I love Shibata. But their theme is so whack. It's like something you can make on Fruity Loops or FL Studios. It's just this really generic theme song. And if the Ops are like another version of the Hurt Syndicate, I really need them to get a better theme song than this really simple drum and bass. It's just, it doesn't make them menacing. And these are some really dangerous guys. If you know Joe is a really serious contender. Hook, he's making his way. He'll never be his daddy, but he's making his way. And Shibata, We all know that man's is wild. So I just really need him to make a better theme song. But they come out to the ring for a 3-way tag, a squash match to be exact. And what's so funny about it is that when Kenny leaves the ring, there's no hesitation. The ops come out, they go to the ring, and the local talent is already there. Like, so it's like they were just on standby, just ready to slide in the ring. So, like I said, pretty much it was a squash match. Joe got a couple of licks in, Hook got a couple of licks in. I don't know what's going on with Hook, but I don't know if sometimes he's just trying to find his footing still. And that's a thing that for any wrestler, you're always trying to find your footing, you're trying to find your thing. But I would feel like by now, Hook, especially with the people he's around, he'd get a little bit more comfortable in the ring. And I'm not saying that I'm a better wrestler or anything of that nature. It's just I constantly feel like Hook is trying to find his footing. And to me at this point, he should have it, you know? If he's using a lot of his dad's moveset, Taz by the way, Taz is his dad. If he's using a lot of his dad moveset, especially the Red Rum, which the Tanja Hanjame is such a better word, or the Taz Mission, either way, but the Red Rum, he's still finding his footing. And Shibata, he's Shibata. Honestly, he should be in the Hurt Syndicate because he is definitely hurting this local talent. And it was such a weird like matchup. Like you could tell the local talent was just, we're just gonna gimmick it up, because there's a moment where I think Hook had like one of them started chasing Hook in the ring, and then Hook just moves to the side like he's Joe. Like, you know how Joe when jumps off the top rope or move away from people, Joe does it with style. Hook just moves to the side and the dude just falls. So it's like, I don't know if he's trying to take Joe's thing. I don't know. It didn't go well with me. But Shibata comes in with a shin kick. Oh, excuse me. He comes in, kicks dude in the shin. Or, excuse me. He comes in, kicks the guy, and gets the pin. It wasn't really that crazy a match. I could have sworn Shibata's signature or his finisher was a rear naked choke. Since he's not doing headbutts anymore. But either way, lackluster squash. I mean, moving on, we know the ops are dangerous. I know two of those people are dangerous, but Hook he's gonna have to grow on me again. Right after that, we have Ricochet, and Ricochet cuts a promo just kind of giving off the energy of what happened at Revolution with him and Swerve. And I feel like this promo, Ricochet is really getting good at his promos. Like, he never had an opportunity to cut promos in WWE or showcase his versatility on the mic. But I feel like AEW, whatever they're doing for him, who's ever helping him with his promo game, keep it up. Ricochet is a great wrestler. I've seen him for years, whether if it's in New Japan, whether if it's in Lucha Underground as Prince Puma. Ricochet's wrestling always speaks for himself. But now he's in a platform where he can actually speak for himself. And this promo was just that. He was like, hey, yeah, I lost against Swerve. I didn't want that damn coat anyway. So what? Big whoop, but you know what I do want? I actually saw Kenny Omega out there with that belt. And I thought that Continental title looked really good around my waist. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to win the Dynasty Eliminator Tournament and become the next champion. And you can bet on that. Now, you see that? He didn't say that verbatim, but you see, like, he's moving on from Swerve. So what? Swerve was a stepping stone. But now, this title is the next thing I'm caring about. And that's what made that promo really good. So, great job, Swerve. Not really too much. A+. Okay? A+. After that promo, we go right into... actually, he talks about him going against Shibata next week for the actual contendership. So, he actually goes against him on Saturday. He goes against him in Collision. He tells Shibata, hey, don't come to Collision. Because if you do, I promise you it's not going to be a good time. So, big words, honestly, to go against Shibata or say that against somebody like Shibata. He even plays on his translator. The translator app he uses, since he doesn't really speak much English, which I feel like the way he uses the translator and how he does it with like the normal the AI that you would use for like your iPhone. It's so funny to see the promo, and this is really feminine, somewhat Australian or like American tone, and it's like, I'm coming out here to choke you out. And it's so funny because you see Shibata's serious face and you can't take it seriously, but like, Shibata will hurt you if he wants to. So like I said, great promo. And then they do a little bit of a package showing the recap of Resolution. Me and Swag never got the chance to do a review of Revolution, but we definitely could both say it was a great pay-per-view, or a PLE. Well, I think this is a pay-per-view because technically you had to pay for it. We had to pay 50 bones between me and my Meta. We actually paid half and half and bought the pay-per-view and watched it together along with Swag Switcher. And great pay-per-view. Like I said before, the only thing was the lackluster main event that I think Swag fell asleep during that part. And I know I was fading as well because we kind of watched it a little bit later. So by the time we finished the show, it was like maybe 1 or something like that. But great show. I will say match of the night was the Hollywood ending with Toni Storm and Mariah May. And we're going to get to that too, because they bring it up and they talk about it as well in a promo with Toni Storm. But for the most part, just a recap of Resolution. And they show that Cope and Jon Moxley are going to be doing a rematch, but in a street fight. It's like, what's the point in that? I don't know if maybe because something didn't happen at Revolution that they wanted to happen, or maybe they didn't get the reaction from the crowd that they wanted. I'm sad to say this because I've been a big fan of Edge, but what he's doing right now in AEW, I'm not really a fan of it. I don't see what's going on. I mean, are they hoping that he could be like CM Punk and be the WWE guy who comes in and gets the title and gets the fans going? Because that's not the case. Cope is not that person. You have a lot of great talent in that locker room, and honestly, Cope doesn't need the title. There's no reason for him to have the title. Yes, he's a legend. We appreciate everything he has done, but what we really need before it gets too late, we need a Edge and Christian reunion. And unfortunately, we can't even get it now because we can't even get him to use the word Edge. So, or the name Edge. So I can't really say too much to that, but right now I don't like what Cope is doing in AEW. Big fan of Edge and everything he's done in WWE. I just don't know what the direction is, and I need something to get me going with Cope. But him winning the title, it's like when he wins the title, then any person he goes against, I mean, yeah, you could use your legend status to win the title, but like, or to keep the title and stuff like that. But there's just so many other people who deserve the title more than him. That's all I'm saying, and I'm gonna keep it straight like that. So, yes, you got the rematch coming up next Wednesday in the street fight, and then they also to bring back up Cope. Swerve, he actually has a small segment after Revolution, which I don't like how they did this. Like, there's a lot of these segments that are going to happen during the show where it was either a promo or it was a interview or something that happened after Revolution went off air, and they're airing it tonight. And most of the stuff is stuff we already know, so it's just like, why show it? But Swerve is like, hey, he said it in the ring after the cameras went off, after they went off air. I'm looking forward to one day going against you. You're my childhood hero. So when he gets backstage again and they're like, hey, what are your thoughts about the match? Same thing I said in the ring, pretty much. And, whether if it was Moxley or Cope, I'm taking back the title. He even solidified that he was the first Black AEW champion, which is a great feat. Kudos to you, Swerve. We love what you're doing right now. But to then like make history again and win the title again was kind of his point he was trying to make. And then Cope was like, well, out of nowhere, well, I don't know if you're gonna win it again, but you'll be a great challenger. Or if you do win it, I'm still gonna come after you. So it's like no matter what, they apparently have a story they want to tell. Do I care for it? No, I don't care for it. And it goes back to what I was saying before with Cope. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what the what is going on, but I'm just not motivated by it. It's like, oh, it's Cope. The name Cope just is not working, bro. Adam Copeland was better, actually, because you still had Adam, but just Cope. You sound like a teenager with a weird like nickname with friends. I don't know. I'm just not getting with Cope. I kind of feel the same way with the Cope name as when WWE switched from Volta to Gunther. And at first I was like, no, it needs to be Walter or Falter. So like, what are you doing? And then we kind of got used to it. I'm never going to get used to Cope. This is a guy I've been watching for years known as Edge. And yes, I've kind of gotten used to Gunther at that point, maybe a little bit of his previous name, but this is Edge. His name has been cemented. And Adam Copeland would make more sense of a name to have than just Cope. I don't know. I'm going to stop ranting about it because I'm going to sound like a party pooper or something for somebody else. But I know I'm not the only one that doesn't feel like that name works. So, after that, we go to commercial break. We come back, and it's Moxley now cutting a promo, going off about the match at Revolution, saying, hey, you know what? There was something about you, Cope, that I realized you're cut from a different cloth, man. You know, every time I knocked you down, you got back up. I knocked you down, you got back up. And it's just constantly, I noticed this, and I was like, dang, this man's a different breed. He is absolutely cut from a different cloth. But I learned my lesson from that first encounter. And I can care less about the rules. You could throw out the rules. You can do whatever you want to. What's going to happen is what's going to happen. I'm going to win and retain my title because I still am on a mission. I still need to fix what is AEW, make it the name it used to be. So on Wednesday, we're going to throw down, but you're still going to lose. That's pretty much the promo. Nothing crazy, but I love Moxley's crazy man gimmick. I'm a big fan of the Death Rider theme song and kind of what it meant, especially when he got out of the asylum he called. That was WWE. I know Swag Switcher is not a fan of Moxley, but the reason why is because I know we both have two different styles of wrestling that we enjoy. I personally love deathmatch wrestling. I'm a huge fan of it, and Moxley, he's been technically doing deathmatch wrestling for years, in a sense. So, especially with the match he did with Kenny Omega, anytime he's in some kind of Texas deathmatch type of environment, you get, honestly, to me, the best of Moxley. You get the best storytelling from him. And I think because Swag hasn't had the chance to see that, he just looks like a crazy dude sometimes. And maybe that's his thing. I don't know what it is. Hopefully next time when we get him on here, I'll ask him why he doesn't like it. But I do know a lot of people are not liking what the Death Rider's doing. I'm trying to let it cook. I'm honestly trying to let it cook because I believe in Moxley and I enjoy his work. He hasn't let me down for years. It's kind of one of those things. I'm letting it cook. Hopefully there's something at the end that's going to be like, see, that's the reason why you should have believed it in the first, because it got you to this point. But right now, he's kind of looking like the champion the people don't want. And that's unfortunate because, again, like I said, Moxley is a really great wrestler. He's a really great personality, especially after, his battles and triumphs through, alcoholism and getting better and looking better ever since then. So kudos to you, Moxley. And, hopefully we'll see something out of this Death Riders story. So Right after that, we do get a match. It's going to be Powerhouse Hobbs and Hologram versus Brian Cage. And I do apologize if I butchered this, but it's Julisico. I believe it's Julisico. I'm please in the comments, let me know your thoughts about this as well, or correct me in the comments because I'm probably butchering it. But Powerhouse Hobbs, man, Powerhouse Hobbs is one of those guys that it's not his time right now, but when it comes, it's gonna be glorious. It's gonna be glorious, man. There's something about his aura, his character that just gives you that smug New York look, that smug New York vibe. It kind of gives me what Taz used to be, which is what Hook should have. But to each his own. And Powerhouse Hobbs and Hologram, and I forgot who is next to him, and I guess I don't know which wrestler it is, but they're copying Hologram. I don't know. But then also Brian Cage, I have to actually apologize to a friend because we were watching AEW at one point together and they were like, hey, is that Brian Cage? And I was like, no, this is other guy. And I didn't realize, because I've always seen Brian Cage for years have a mohawk and just like a shaved head and everything, but he's grown out his hair. He's grown out the beard. He's a totally different dude. It's crazy what hair can do. But nothing super crazy about the match. Outside of just a few distractions and, pretty decent finish. I mean, Powerhouse Hobbs, I didn't know he uses a spine buster as a finisher, whether if it's a signature or whether if it's just the opponent, but he hits it off with a spine buster. 1, 2, 3 win. Again, very decent match. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments when it comes to this match, and also the previous matches that we're also looking at or previous moments that we looked at as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as well. Now, next up, another thing that kind of happened at Revolution was a promo with the Hurt Syndicate. We hurt people. That's that jam, boy. I'm telling you, anytime they come out, I'm singing it, boy. I'm singing it. But they do a promo with the Hurt Syndicate, and MVP is obviously very proud of his guys. He's like, yo, this is the most dominant faction in AEW, and we proved it tonight. But what I want to prove to my boys is we do train hard, but we also party hard too. So I want to give you guys the week off. Don't even worry about coming to AEW on Wednesday. Do your thing, enjoy yourself. And he was like, hey man, we're in California. You can go an hour away to be near the casino. You can go to the beaches and get to the babes. And then Bobby's like, we can go to the gym. And he's like, whoa, why would you go to the gym? I just told you to relax, okay? Enjoy yourself. Have fun. And then Shelton was like, hey, I understand what you're telling us, boss, but we definitely gonna go to the gym. That's a part of the set. And so then Bobby and, Seth walk off. And as MVP is continuing the promo just to big up the Hurt Syndicate, he ends it off the best way you can. While these guys are champions, these guys are excellent in the ring. And they're gonna go out and have fun. And then they're probably going to go to the gym because you know why? It's so important to them. They want to be at their best. They want to be the strongest because you know why? They just want to hurt people. Excellent. It's so damn good. Oh, why could they not be like this in WWE? Paul, Hunter, Triple H, what were you guys thinking? These guys can be so good. So good. But right now, they're doing wonders in AEW. But maybe one day we'll fix it up. Because you literally have somebody like Shelton Benjamin who's given so much to the business and WWE. And for us to finally get him to go back there and especially Bobby. But that's cool. We're going to hurt people in the AEW. So, after that promo, we kind of get the chance to get a review package of the Hollywood end, basically everything that has led us up to that point. How timeless Toni Storm, she originally got the title, had Mariah May as her like valet or her friend, and kind of saw herself in Mariah. She's like, you know what? I see myself in you, and I love myself. So this is perfect, right? And from that, it kind of started building, I guess, that jealousy in that moment where Mariah May says, you know what? You have provided me everything except one thing, the AEW Women's title. And I'm going to take it from you so I can be my own person and be everything that you've given me. And then obviously that leads up to the match and leads up to the backstabbing, that leads up to the Hollywood end, which to me was match of the night at AEW Revolution. That was the match of the night, the storytelling behind every element of the match. And if you guys want me to do a deep dive of me talking about the match, I will do so because I loved it that much. But to the beginning of the match, to having a taser, to knocking out the valet, to the amounts of blood being shed, the carnage, the mayhem, the sadism, like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. And just the way it ends with the power driver going through the table, and the table doesn't break, which I love how they did that. I don't know if they used a foam or something to prevent it from breaking, but they made sure that the placement of the table fit right next to the two of them as they laid there together, as if it was a movie. And the credits roll when it hits the end. So beautiful match in a beautiful way to start up the promo that Toni Storm gives next. And she is the AEW Women's Champion for a reason, man. I've been familiar with Toni Storm's work as a wrestler, but I haven't really always seen her promo work until she became timeless Toni Storm. And another phenomenal promo. Some of the things I caught from the promo is now I have cuts on my forehead, I have staples, I have glue, I have all these things to keep me back up to date. I've even had glass on my ass. But I wanted to tell you all that the Tramp is still the champ. I was like, what? She said the Tramp is still the champ. You know what? That's a term that you would have definitely heard back in that era. You know what? You do your research, Toni Storm. I see you. I see you. So, along with this promo, she talks about, I'm moving on from Mariah May, and I want to go to the rest of the women of the AEW roster, right? And the way she does it is like, as you can see, I bleed like a pig, I lick like a giraffe, and I hunt like a lion, or as I eat like a lion. I can't remember exactly, but it was such a nice like way of reminiscing the match at Revolution, because yes, she bled like a pig, and I don't remember she licked anything, but she definitely did devour her opponent like a lion. So, and then continuing on with the animal references, she says, "You will never catch me meowing because I'm no pussy." And that gotta pop if it didn't. It gotta pop. You'll never catch me meowing because I ain't no pussy. That sounds like some stand on business type ish, bro. But it was so good. And then she said, "So girls, put your keys in the cup and let's get this orgy started." I'm like, what? What? So timeless Toni Storm is a very wild one. I don't. Oh, she said something about I don't normally swing that way, and that's like, she said, I swing that way. It regardless. I'm just you kind of hear some of these terms because you're on live, you're on television, and when she says certain things like "I'm no pussy" and put the keys in the cup, because let's get the orgy started. It's like, Toni Storm, what are you implying? What are you doing? Like, it's all those things. So, but great match, honestly. And great promo from Toni Storm. Can't wait to see what happens next week. From that, we also another thing that happens at the end of it is Megan Bayne comes out of nowhere and hits her in the back and knocks her out. And this is my first introduction to Megan Bayne. I never heard of her. But she definitely looks like Beth Phoenix. Definitely looks like Beth Phoenix. And another thing I thought about too, because I used to create wrestlers on different wrestling games and everything. She looked like a creative character that I had a friend who made their own characters in their own show and looked very similar to them. I can't remember the name, but I was just like, why does this character look very similar? But Megan Bayne looks damn good. And this is not going to be her first or only appearance tonight. So, after that, we go to a small commercial break. And then we have the next match that goes with the Beast Mortis and the wild card, which finds out it is Speedball Mike Bailey. He makes his AEW debut. And he's also part of the Continental or the Dynasty Eliminator tournament, and he goes against Mortis. And great debut. I've seen Speedball Mike Bailey before. I remember he went against Kenny King in TNA and somewhat of like an MMA battle and just other things of that nature. So I'm very familiar with my Speedball Mike Bailey. Definitely would look forward to seeing what else he does in AEW. But pretty solid match. Commentary kind of goes on why about he doesn't wear shoes, his martial arts background. He's a 4th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. Didn't know that. I hope I did get that right. I believe I heard them say he's a 4th belt in jiu-jitsu, or was it taekwondo? Either way, 4th degree martial artist is always still a tremendous feat. Great job to you. And also, as well, want to send my from another person who does martial arts, sending out my love and peace. So, like I said before, great match, hard hitting stuff. Mortis, at the beginning is like, who is this guy? He's tiny compared to big old me. I'll destroy him. But Speedball shows he's about that action. Gets again some hard hits, does a tope Cena, does a lot of kicking. I mean, martial arts is what he does. But one thing I didn't know is that he does this moonsault double knee move, and I'm believing this is his signature. It's kind of how the match ends. So he does the moonsault, he hits, does the moonsault, boom, and then he calls up to get ready to do his signature, right? And at first, when he spins, it looks like he's doing a Trouble in Paradise, which I don't think I've ever seen anybody else hit this move, like a Trouble in Paradise. I think that's like literally Kofi's move. And at first, like I said, he's doing the spin, but the spin actually leads into a spinning back kick, which is like almost doing a Trouble in Paradise and a black mask. Pretty gnarly. But yes, he gets the 1, 2, 3. Great debut. It's a good thing to put somebody up to him like Mortis, because it shows that he can handle the big guys too. But definitely a solid match. I would definitely give it a B. I would give it a good B. As I would say maybe so far second match. No. This would be third best match of the night. Third best match of the night. We're going to get closer to the other ones too. But after that match, we go to another commercial break. From that commercial break, we get Christian back on screen. And Christian, he gives all of his excuses of why he lost his opportunity at getting the AEW title at Revolution. And he starts it off strong. He says, man, you know what? I didn't tap out. I originally gave the contract for a one-on-one match against Cope. I didn't expect Moxley to be there because that's what I told the referee. It was supposed to be me versus Cope. And as I'm getting ready to finish Cope off, I suddenly get choked out by Moxley. And also, I didn't tap, nor did I black out. I was easily getting ready to switch myself from the maneuver, but then the referee thought I was tapping when I was actually moving my hands to get ready. And then Nick Wayne just says, bro, shut up with the excuses. And Christian's like, what did you just say? He says, excuse after excuse after excuse. You're lying to the audience just like you lied to us. And we have followed you. We've done everything you said, and you are still not champion. When are you going to apologize to us? And Christian doesn't take that back talk at all. He says, you know what? You're right. Pushes him immediately. And then Wayne's mom comes up and is like, yo. He said, whoa. Get out of my face or I'm going to fire you and you'll be back working at Waffle House like you used to. And Wayne's mom steps back as if like, I don't want to go back to that. You go handle that. And so Christian comes up to Nick Wayne and says, yo, don't you ever talk to me like that again. Because I want to ask you a question. How many world titles have you ever won? 0, right? Okay. How many world titles has your deadbeat dad ever won? None, right? So I think you should listen to me. If anybody who has ever won a title, who's ever done something, you should probably listen to me and shut up. Because if you ever talk to me like that again, and he gets real close up, like almost kissing level at this point. Since we ever have this conversation again, we won't never have another conversation again. It'll be over. It'll be done. Christian and that level of intensity is the reason why I'm wondering why in the hell is he not the AEW champion right now? When he had Kill Switch and he had the contract, they should have really pulled the trigger on that. But no, we got this Death Rider story. Christian, he may not be the salt of the earth like MJF, but God, dog, is he a compelling character right now. When he was hot with the whole deadbeat dad stories and stuff like that, he really should have had that title on him. And I stand on that. I stand on that. He should have been champion. I don't know what they was thinking. But we got to reset. What are we going to do with Christian? He even claims that at some point he will be the AEW champion. There's a lot of people in the show that's actually gunning for the title. And, you know, for any wrestling fan, we actually like seeing that. We like seeing when everyone in the promotion wants the main title because it solidifies that title's importance. If everybody's not going for it, then what are you doing? That's Stone Cold's out of his mouth. If you're not going for the heavyweight title, kid, then what are you doing it for? Why are you doing this? And AEW showcases that with every wrestler, every night doing an interview is somewhat talking about their moment. You had Will Ospreay, you had MJF, you had Christian, you had Swerve, you had Cope. You have multiple people who are gunning for this title. And it gives you that variety of like, man, all these match opportunities. Who's going to take it? Right? So, great promo. And as we kind of go into this is again another promo / interview. We go into another promo after the commercial break where it's MJF. Well, this is not really a promo. It's not really an interview. It's just they caught him backstage with the camera. And he's looking into the mirror. And he decks it. Like straight up. Bomb. On the mirror. Breaks it in half. And I want to say he had to have brass knuckles. Or that had to be sugar glass. Because there's no way that man straight up punches that glass and not cuts his hand. The way that glass broke, it looked like real glass. So I don't believe so. But as he punches the glass, he turns around, notices his camera in the room, and he just get out. He pushes them out, and that was the end of the segment there. So we will be seeing more of MJF later on in the evening. So actually, that I think that is the next portion of it is when MJF comes out to the ring and he cuts a promo about obviously what happened and how he's not going to let it steer him wrong. He's not going to let it get past him because he knows he's better. He knows he's better than Hangman. And so what? He won it. But he's still miles away better than Hangman. Then boom. We heard people. We heard people. We heard people. It's MVP coming out to the ring. Very new stuff. Because if MVP comes out or talks to anybody, one of two things is happening. He's offering them an opportunity to join the Hurt Syndicate, or he's letting you know he's about to kick your ass, or he's going to have his boys kick your ass. So we don't know what's going to happen here. So he gets into the ring, and at first they stare each other down, and I love how they did this. It's MVP, MJF. And then they just embrace and hug each other. It's a funny moment. You feel like obviously heels are gonna be friends. That kind of comes with it. So, they reminisce, but like, man, hey, how you been? What you been up to? And he's like, nah, I've been just watching you from the sidelines, do your thing. And MJF, you're getting kind of soft, man. What's going on? You used to be feared. You used to be hated. You used to be admired. Again, people were afraid of you. They're not afraid of you anymore. They actually are making fun of you, talking trash about you. You used to beat people up. And I'm actually surprised that after that match, you didn't go hurt nobody. Why you didn't do anything about that? You've changed, MJF. But since people don't fear you anymore like they used to, they actually fear the Hurt Syndicate now. And I feel like you should change that, man. And then MJF is like, yo, I used to be a 400 plus day champion. MJF cuts him off, MVP cuts him off and says, I want you to key in that word was. If you want people to fear you again, if you want to make money, if you want to hurt people, pulls out the card, gives it to him. And MJF hesitates for a second, but MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. I got mixed feelings. I don't feel like MJF needs it because MJF's already a mouthpiece. MVP is Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin as mouthpiece. So what is the plan here? Like, unless the only plan is, okay, MJF gets the title and the whole faction just become belt collectors. That's pretty much the only way I see it. They basically become Evolution. MJF being Triple H gets the world title. You get, let's say Shelton Benjamin gets the ROH world title. Or it could be Bobby Lashley, either or, but then somebody get the Continental. Like, that's the only way I see it. They just be collecting belts, because MJF, if he gets this faction or if he joins them, he's going to do what he does with every faction, is become the salt of it. Like, while he has good people around him, he's going to mess it up because he's just that kind of person. He gets too big in his head. So I don't know where the direction is for this. I don't know if he's just going to call the Hurt Syndicate when he needs them for a title in the future, or like help for a title in the future. Who knows? But I don't think MJF's going to say no. And there's going to be a reason why later on when we get to another interaction, when we get there as well. So great segment. And then somehow, I guess my internet started to mess up real quick, and I didn't realize that Max Caster went out to the ring. And I guess he has a plaque to showcase that he was the better wrestler in The Acclaim. Okay. And he's going by this whole thing, the best wrestler in the world, or I think the best wrestler on the planet, or something like that. And as he's cutting a promo, he's like, you guys really should enjoy who I am and what I do because I'm the best. I'm the best. And to show you guys I'm the best, I'm going to host an open challenge to anyone in the locker room right now. Come out here so you can see who the best in the world or best the planet is. And Konosuke Takeshita come out. And people just automatically like, ooh. Oh, you done fucked up. And Takeshita, he comes out. He takes off his jacket. He's raring and ready to go. He don't want to talk. He's just ready to beat you up. And Mac's like, whoa, bro. Actually, I know why you're out here. You don't want to fight me. I'm the best wrestler in the world. Like, you don't want to fight me. Actually, you wanted to reach out to me because you want me to join the Don family, right? You know what? That's a great idea. Me and the family? With the best wrestler in the world? I mean, yeah, it makes sense. And then Takeshita just hits him one good time. 1, 2, 3 squat. Well, actually, he stops it. He hits him with the elbow, stops it, pulls him up, hits him with the raging fire. 1, 2, 3. Another squash match. But I think they did this to make sure audiences remembers that Takeshita, minus the title, he is still a threat. He is still a threat. He's still someone you should look at. And they just put another win on his belt. That's pretty much what it was. It was like, hey, I took a loss on Sunday, but now I got another win and I squashed him. So all is well. And then I believe we go to another commercial break after this, and we get the recap of what Chris Jericho did on 0 Hour with Gravity by stealing his mask and almost beating up his family with I think is Bandino. Yes, Bandito comes out and he's beating up the family, and then he cuts a promo looking at the mask. I can't really say too much about this. I don't know where is Jericho going, but he basically blames Gravity for getting in his way, and he's going to make an example out of him. I don't know if this is an ongoing feud kind of thing, but the promo really doesn't tell me too much. It just kind of lets me know, okay, Jericho, maybe he's going back to being more of a sinister heel rather than the tree thing that everybody hates, the learning tree. I think he's moving away from that, and he's trying to become something like the Painmaker again, which everybody loved it when he got crazy, but I don't think he got those kind of matches in him anymore. So, pretty decent promo. I say it's a C. It's kind of normal stuff that you would hear from Jericho. Nothing that was compelling to get me on my seat to say, oh, I can't wait to see what happens next. So, next, to me, I want to say this was the match of the damn night. And it's going to get my stamp of approval of saying best match of the night. And that's Willow Nightingale versus Penelope Ford. And 2 seconds to say Penelope Ford is smoking tonight. Like, it's flawless. Okay, I know Penelope Ford, but tonight she was just smoking, bro. She's smoking hot. I don't know what was going on. I was like, whoa, okay. I don't normally fangirl or whatever over certain people or wrestlers like that, but I was just like, damn. Okay. But besides that, the match was really great. Willow Nightingale, I love her as a performer. She kind of gives Bayley energy without being Bayley because she's still badass. And these two just go at it. I mean, submission holds to big spots, to big moves. And the only thing I could say is, while the match was really great, the build-up was really great, the finish and the ending was just, it was a real miss. You know, it's like when you cook food and the preparation and everything was good, but then you left something on the stove too long and it got burnt. And it's like, oh man, I was really excited for this. I guess I got to eat it or throw it in the trash. And that's literally what it was, because Willow Nightingale hit a very... And I don't think this was Willow Nightingale's fault. I kind of feel like this was Penelope. I feel like Penelope maybe got like a little tired at some point. And I hate to say it like that, because these ladies were doing amazing. Ladies were doing amazing. And then it gets to the point of her hitting the pounce. And it's like, Willow goes for this direction. Penelope goes really slow. And Willow's like, I mean, are you going to start moving? And then she finally has to do the actual pounce. And she doesn't really get all of it. But it's like, this is supposed to be a finish. So 1, 2, 3 is the finish. Willow Nightingale's thanking the crowd, hyping up the crowd. And then suddenly, Penelope comes in with the chair. Gets her one good time in the stomach. And then she goes for the back shot. And I don't know what happened, because she wrenched that bitch back. And it said, like, the softest little pat. And I was like, what was that chair shot? Because, like, obviously Willow has to sell it. And it was like, what the hell was that? So she's starting to get some more offense on her, Penelope. And then Chris Statlander, who's definitely on muscle mommy status tonight. Not Rhea Ripley muscle mommy, but she's definitely on muscle mommy status tonight. And I was like, oh, okay. Chris Statlander out here, boom. And she tries to help Willow Nightingale. It's like, oh, Willow's like, yo, was that you? When she clearly saw it was Penelope, because she had a striker in the stomach first, but okay. So she's like, oh, was that you? She's like, no. I'm here to help. And then they both turn around and it's boom, double clothesline, Megan Bay. She knocks out Willow Nightingale, pushes her to the side, and then picks up Chris Statlander for her signature. And she says, I think she says, all will kneel, or they will kneel. I just know she said something kneel. And then she hits the F5, which was pretty damn good F5. Wasn't here comes the pain type. Like, it was a pretty good damn F5. Pretty good damn F5. Gets the drop on her and hits her pose, which it feels very much like Beth Phoenix, but you know, she brings it out like that, and that's her pose. And twice you see Megan Bayne tonight, which I definitely need to see a match now. I'm gonna have to like look in some archives and look at somewhere to see, because apparently she's undefeated in AEW right now. So I'm gonna have to look up some of her matches and stuff like that. So no, she says bow down. That's what it looks like. Bow down, and she hits that 5. Okay. So after that, we get a segment right afterwards where it's Money Monet, or Four Belts Money Monet, is getting an interview. And apparently she invited Billy Starks, who at Revolution was watching from the stands the match and doing her homework, where she says, you know, Monet, I've been watching you. I'm really influenced by you. I'm a student of the game, and I've done my homework so that when I'm finally able to get up to someone like you, I'm gonna be the next champion. And there's no ands, ifs, or buts on that. And then Monet, she's like, my voice still hurts from Revolution because I got hit in the throat. But who are you talking to like that? Like, you're not winning this. Like, I appreciate you're a student of the game, but you got a lot more work to do than just watching my matches to say you're going to win the title. So, big talk, but we'll see one day. You know, I'm still going to win because it's all about the money. So, I love Sasha Banks. I don't love Money Monet. I don't love her matches currently. They're missing something. Every time I've watched her in the ring, except one match, which was really good. I can't remember when it was, but they've just been, they feel like Monet just knows she's going to win the match, so she just dials it in a lot. And the other competitor is like, I'm really trying to make you look good. Can you work with me? And Monet's like, oh, I'm gonna botch this a little bit, or I'm gonna mess this up. And it just doesn't feel like she's in there. She's just dialing it in sometimes, which a lot of times a lot of wrestlers do dial it in. They kind of go off the energy and what's going on in the match rather than spot by spot by spot. You just kind of fill it out. And I feel like a lot of times when Monet has been filling it out lately, it feels like a miss every time. And all her finishes for these matches are pretty like, I don't like the signature. I don't like the whatever. She can't hit it right. She didn't hit it right the first time she did it. She's still not hitting it right to this day. I love you. I love what you done. I love your work. I love your character. I've even met you a couple of times at the Geek Easy. If you don't remember that spot when you've been out there a couple of times, but when you were in your NXT days, but we got to get a different signature, sweetie. Something better. Maybe a code breaker, something like you could do a you could do something and call it the money clip. I don't know, like just it's something better than that move. Any wrestler, or I think it was Austin who said it, like your signature needs to be something that you can hit on everybody. Like if you're ever going against a person where their mass is bigger than you and you got to remember, oh snap, I got to pick this bitch up to do my signature. I don't have the bill for it, then you don't need to do the signature. You don't need to do that. And that's a funny way I kind of just combine that with how I do fighting games. When I play fighting games, if I cannot do every move on the move list, I don't play the character. Same thing for Monet. She needs to take that signature, realize there's some opponents that she's been doing it on who either they don't know how to take it or you don't know how to maneuver yourself to do it. But the finisher has to go. It has to change. But yeah, that was their interview. And then again, another interview segment. So we got 1, 2, like 3, like almost like 6 to 7 interview segments tonight. It was so promo heavy, dude. And I was like, where's the wrestling? AEW has been very big on their wrestling, but there was little to no wrestling tonight. There was 2 squash matches and then 3 actual matches. So I guess technically you say you got 5 matches on the card, but it was just like 2 of them were squashes. So I don't know. Maybe I'm asking for too much. It just felt like it was missing something. It was just way too many promos. But again, we got another promo. It's Will Ospreay, who comes out there still selling the match. I don't know if his leg is actually hurt, but he's definitely selling the after effects of the match. And he talks about in the interview, he talks about a phone call he had with his wife, and she was like, "Hey, I'm really worried about this cage match. You can't be really doing the stuff that you used to do." And he's like, Love, don't worry. I'm like 30 now. That's a terrible UK accent. But he was like, "Love, don't worry. I'm 30 plus now. I got back pains in certain areas. I'm not gonna do anything crazy on this cage." And what do you know? He does crazy stuff on the cage. And he promised his wife he wouldn't, so he's gonna make it up to her once he gets back. I think he said something like he's gonna do some shagging. I don't know if he said that specifically, but he implied that. And then on a serious note, he goes back to everybody's getting their shot at the AEW title, but when is my shot? He's like, Cope is getting his shot next week. Swerve is getting his on Dynasty. So that just means, and he looks at the All-In poster in Texas in July, and he basically says, I'm going to be the one that wins the Owen Hart tournament or the Owen Hart Classic, and I'm going to get my title shot, and I'm going to go against whoever. If it's Cope, this is going to be dope, man. I'm going to like that match. If it's Swerve, that's going to be a hell of a rematch. And if it's Mox, in layman's terms, he pretty much says, I'm going to fuck you up. That's pretty much how he put it. I'm going to fuck you up. And that was kind of the promo, just solidifying. I'm moving past that match, and I need to start actually heading out and going for the title. But Kyle Fletcher, he's definitely going to be a world champion one day. So he's like, even though he's bigging up the person who says, I hate you, before he did the hidden blade, he's still bigging him up because that's still his homeboy, and he's from the faction that they were in before previously, which is the United Kingdom. Goodness. Couldn't even think of the name for the second. But yeah, he cuts that promo. And then guess what happens after that, guys? Another spanking promo. And guess who it is this time? It's actually Jay White, which is the Switchblade. Boy, that's my guy. That's my guy, man. When he was in New Japan, that was my guy, man. The Catalyst. Oh, he's just not that right now. So, he cuts a promo basically saying, man, you know, everybody's wondering if I really actually tried to hit Colt. I didn't try to hit him. Do you guys think I tried to hit him? Hey, audience, did you guys think I tried to hit Colt? No? Okay. I messed up because I promised that Colt will walk out the AEW champion, and I couldn't keep my promise. But you know what promise I'm going to keep is that the Switchblade will one day be the AEW champion. It's pretty much what he said in a nutshell. And I believe in Switchblade. Oh, I believe in the Switchblade. Ah, that's my guy. All right, so decent promos from Switchblade. And then we go right into Hangman, who gets an interview. Another interview segment, guys. You love those, don't you? You love those, right? So another segment where it's Hangman Page who's about to get interviewed, and then suddenly bumps right into MJF. And he basically taunts MJF. He says, like, hey, you didn't want to set me on fire. You didn't have the intentions of it because you pretty much don't have the balls to set me on fire. But it was nice. You tried. I don't think you'll ever actually do it. And then MJF says, like, I thought about it. I almost did it, but you know, I didn't feel like that time was right. And also, can you back up a little bit? You straight up smell like rotten ass. Okay? Whatever happened. That's okay. Because again, I'm leagues better than you. And I'm going to prove that by being AEW champion again. Because it's a title you'll never get. You keep chasing it. You keep letting the fans down. You keep letting everybody else down. You let yourself down every time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that belt. I'm going to win it. And I'm going to rub it all in your damn face. Because I'm MJF. I'm better than you. And you know it. And that was pretty much it. I mean, he didn't say the slogan. I just wanted to say that because I like being menacing myself. But we get that segment and we get the last match of the night. And I do apologize if I butchered this name, but it's Orange Cassidy versus Hechicero. I feel like I'm butchering that, but this is my first time seeing him. He's a wrestler from CMML. And he was known as the submission magician. And boy, was he a submission magician, man. There were so many takedowns, so many holds. Some things I was like, God dang, like that was a submission? That looked like it was torture. I love how the match started. The match starts where, you know, he does a complete wrist lock. And then Cassidy's like trying to get energy to put his hand in his pocket, but he stops him every time. He says, nah, you're not putting your hand in the pocket. Switch hands. He says, okay, well, I'll try this hand. And he couldn't do it there. So it's just the story they were trying to tell is that you're going against a submission specialist. And I know the razzle dazzle of your style is cool and all, but this is a different competitor. So what Cassidy does, and it's so funny, is that to prevent himself from getting submitted, he wrestles half the match with his hands in his pocket. So he does a Hurricane Rana, he does the kip up, and he even does a pinning setup where he takes, I think he took his hand and he twirled his hand, or he took his foot. He took his foot, twirled his foot, and was able to get him in a small package with no hands. It was crazy. It was crazy. He was showing his versatility to say, like, hey, I understand you a submission magician, but I do this too. I can do crazy things without my hands, and I can put people in certain predicaments without my hands. And Orange Cassidy started selling the offense a lot from his opponent, where he kept getting him in submission. So he got him in good leg submissions, good arm submissions. So it kind of prevented him from being able to do the orange punch or any of his other offense. So we get to a certain point in the match where Orange is reversing signature after signature after signature. And he tries to go for orange punch, but then realize my leg hurts. Let me try to do something off the top rope. And he does like a jump down fist attack. And then he and I should say Cero switches it into a arm bar. He constantly keeps switching it. Orange Cassidy's trying to get out. And he finally gets out. And then Cero, I guess he get ready to do another suplex move. I don't know if this is a signature, but Orange reverses it. And he already did this one time when he reversed it into a stunner. But this time, dude calculates it, catches it. And they start spinning for a second. And then Orange flips it somehow and gets a small package and gets the win. Or it's a crucifix pin. Gets a crucifix pin and gets the win. And great match. To me, it's a second best match of the night because of the storytelling. The storytelling was really good. With how Orange Cassidy was selling his injuries from the submission magician. So I feel like overall it kind of still gave his opponent, it got his opponent over still, because apparently he's supposed to be a very top competitor in CMLL. He's a very top tender in that promotion. So you kind of have to make him look good while still keeping Orange good. So the match ends and Speedball Mike Bailey comes out and just simply bows to let them know, like, there is a 4-way contender match that's going to happen next Wednesday. And the other two opponents are going to be decided at Collision on Saturday. So that's AEW Dynamite. To me, show-wise, it was an A. I'm giving the show an A. And there's a reason why. Outside of the promos, a lot of the promos were really good. A lot of the promos did keep you engaged, especially for Ricochet. Ricochet did a fire promo. Tony did an amazing promo. You got the seriousness from Christian, the hype from Will Ospreay. Because Will Ospreay, when he gets really into his character, his voice deepens and you can feel it. And I can say his promo is really great. Jay White's promo is really great because while he's not doing a lot in AEW, he's an excellent talker when you give him that chance. And I just feel like every promo tonight, even the MJF segment with MVP, everything, while there was a lot of them, they didn't miss with any of them. Every segment has its purpose. It was just a lot of them, and I wasn't expecting a lot of them to happen. So, great show. I give it an A. If we're going off of the ranking system from Sonic Adventure Battle 2, S being, yeah, that was cool, or too easy, or as Eggman would say, now you know why I am the best. But an A is what they get for that show. Great show. I feel like it just missed a couple of things, but overall, really great show. What are your guys' thoughts about AEW Dynamite? Please let me know in the comments. If you feel like, if my ranking is justified, if you feel like it was an S, if you think it was a B, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. We got some shorts. We got some other things coming out soon. Swag Switch is going to be out until potentially the next episode. So you will be getting me again for Friday Night SmackDown along with Collision. And until then, like I said, let me know in the comments what you think about tonight's show. I thought it was a great show. Kind of one of the best so far I've seen from AEW in a while, because they've been doing low ratings and stuff like that. And I feel like if they still got low ratings tonight, it'd be a damn shame, because it was a really good show. Really good show. A lot of movement from the cast, or excuse me, a lot of movement from the roster. And I'm pretty much looking forward to seeing what happens next. So just if you keep me on this road, I think Dynasty should be a great card, and All In should be a great card too. So again, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. It's your boy. It's the Moscow. I'm stealing it till he gets back. And thank you so much for tuning in to the Big Brothers of Destruction podcast. Until next time, there's more destruction to come. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.